And we are live with another edition of Let's Talk Broncos with your host, Kurt Valenti. Good evening, Mr. Valenti.
How
How?
are you, how are you, Mrs. Valenti? Not well, Bronco wise, but hey, we got an hour here to rant and get this over with, and let's see where this goes.
Well, we already have Carson checking in and waving a little bit.
The one, the only Carson. You know what I said about Carson tonight, Jen?
What's
We
that?
mentioned about watching the Carson Shear show, and he does all his, ticket times and all his shows.
Hmm.
And I said, even if you don't like to be gambling, he always looks sharp, doesn't he? He's always decked out on those shows. Check him out. Check out Mr. Carson Shear. Now he's the man. He's the man. What's up, Carson?
All right, and we have Michael Ronquillo checking in saying, "Good evening, Kurt and Jen. Bo Leave, God bless Bo Nix, and go Bo Broncos."
What's up, my friend Michael Rankia? Hope all is well.
What you call it? So while you continue your tagging there, let me just give you some of our programming updates. Wednesday nights, part two for you. You just came off of K&K at 8 o'clock. You took all things college sports, professional sports, all across the board. Um, Jody's already checking in saying, "We'll get to this. Can you please get Payton to run the ball? Starting
Yeah,
it off, starting it off."
it's getting ridiculous now. It's getting ridiculous. And again, everybody's on the hot seat. Everybody.
um,
Jen Graham's checking in. What's up, Graham?
Hi, Graham.
We
Thanks for
had
checking
Graham
in and
on
watching.
K before, so he's checking in, doing a little double duty with us tonight.
Nice, nice, very nice. Um, Back to your programming Wednesday nights. With Jody checking in, I want to give a little shout out to Denver Bronco Roundup, right? Keith, Jody, Albert, and Trevor, all part of that. If you're looking for additional Bronco information, go check them out on DBR, Denver Bronco Roundup. They do a phenomenal job there, a great group of guys. We do our Tuesday night show, Coach Valenti, LOL.
Yeah, there we go. Now you're talking.
That's what Graham's saying. Yep, yep. So can't take the coach out of him. That's for sure. Um, what you call it? Some of your other K&K counterparts have Paul and Kenny team up on. Well, you know what? They keep changing a little bit too. I feel like, but you know what? It's all dependent on the NFL schedule now, right? They do their giant show, so if there's a Monday night game, they might do something pregame on a Sunday morning, right? They might go on a rant Monday
Well,
night.
right, yeah, well, right, yeah, they do their Monday night, and then they do their pregame on Sunday in the morning. I think 11:30 they start that.
Then you've got Scoops, who does his What's the Scoop? Sometimes teams up with some of the Denver Broncos guys as well. So a lot of good stuff to check out. And then, of course, you and I do our Tuesday night high school show. So always looking for guests, always looking to give those high school kids coverage. So that's just a little bit about the K&K show and the All In on High School sports shows there.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely. Hey,
speaking of Denver Bronco Roundup, here's Albert saying, "Quick hello at work. Have a great show. Bo Leave in the Broncos."
what's
Very
up,
nice. Thanks
Albert?
for
What's
checking
going
in,
on?
Albert.
Thanks for checking in.
Kenny also saying, "Good evening, Jen and Kurt. Kurt, I have a couple questions for
Good,
you this
good. That's
evening.
good. We're doing
I know
open
we love
agenda.
it."
Bring them. Bring the questions tonight, Mr. Kirkpatrick.
Michael saying Sean Payton is an old school head coach and not a new school head coach, and that is why Sean Payton plays calling is bad right now.
Hey, that's a great point by Michael Ronquillo, Jen. Um, again, you got to adapt a little. You got to be creative a little. And, I'm going to get into this. I would have never thought that, what is it, 19 games in now, that if you said to me, hey, either you have to be happy that Sean Payton, what's the word? Fixed like the locker room and I can't think of the word, Jen. What's the word? Oh my God, I put it in the group chat. The not the aura of the room, but like he
The
fixed
atmosphere,
yeah,
the
yeah, he fixed the atmosphere, or he's going to be one of the top three play callers in football. I would be like, okay, like I don't know. I don't know if Sean Payton's really an atmosphere guy in a locker room, but he's definitely a top three play
yeah,
caller. It's
culture
totally,
is the other
totally
word.
culture.
Yeah.
It's totally opposite. He did fix the culture, but as a play caller, he's been totally, totally disappointing.
We got Pearl checking in saying hello as well.
What's
Hi,
up,
Pearl.
bro?
Thanks for watching. Roy checking in saying howdy, Curtain Hoops, and forget all the
What's up,
crap
Roy?
in. So we got a lot of people coming here. All right, let's go to. Let me get Graham here, just saying I'm very interested to see if Payton can actually develop Knicks because he doesn't have a ton of legit experience doing so.
Listen, it's a great point by Graham, but he better, Jen. He better, because didn't you tell us you were going to do that? And that's not only a reason why we're giving you 18 million, but it's why we're paying a lot of million to Russell Wilson to go stand on the sideline with headphones, right? I mean, that's what you told us, is you would develop this kid. And we're going to see.
Now,
We're going
we
to
have
see.
an agenda, you and I, but as you know, we always like to go
Open
open
agenda.
agenda.
Open agenda.
So, a lot of the stuff already that's been said in the few short minutes we've been on are things that, you and I had planned on talking about. So, I want to get right to Kenny's question here because this is something not only that you and I put on the agenda per se, but this was something that I feel like you consistently said during the game on Sunday, right? So let me get to Kenny's question here. He says, right out of the gate, Kurt, who's going to be the playmaker on this offense? He says, I say give Franklin a shot because what I found you saying over and over and over again is that there is no playmaker.
There is none. And hey, when you're in a situation like this, remember, Jen, remember what I said a month ago? Who did I want? Who did I want? Running back. We
I don't
watched them the other day. I said to you, fantasy football, bang, bang,
was it
bang, bang.
Kamara?
Kamara, right? Remember? Oh no, we can't pay Kamara. We're not gonna. We don't have Alvin Kamara. We don't have anybody like that. We got to go get them. And I'm not going to wait and let's draft this guy. Let's draft Marvin Mims and let's draft Franklin. And we're going to not like that's down the road. Like for additional guys, we got to get a guy right now. This offseason, we have to open our checkbooks or trade some of these draft picks and go get 2 to 3 legit NFL playmakers right now. Not or hey, I'm going to take one in a top 4 pick. That has to happen. It has to happen. We have to go get, right? People a couple years ago, let's not waste picks on Christian McCaffrey. Let's not waste draft capital on Alvin Kamara. That's not, again, Jamar Chase don't want to be signed by the Bengals next year. What do you want from Cincinnati? Go get the deal done. Now you have a number 1 receiver. You don't have to worry about it. That's what we have to do. It's so bare. We don't have another option. We cannot wait. Let's draft the guy in the 4th round and maybe he'll come along 2 years. That's Dulcich, that's Javonte Williams, that's that's all what we have. And nobody's delivering. Again, they're second and third rate players. We got to go get stars. We got to go get playmakers. And how do you go get playmakers? You're either going to have a hey, I'm going to take this guy top 3 pick, or you know what? I'm going into free agency and bang, I'm paying for money. I'm going to make a trade for a Jamar Chase. I don't care what it's going to cost me draft capital. That's the only way it's going to get done. Enough with this. We have to draft these guys. Everybody we're drafting, then we say we don't have playmakers. Well, you drafted everybody. They're not good enough.
Well, let's get to Graham's comment because he wants to know specifically for Kamara, but you mentioned some other people. Who would you trade for someone like Kamara? But
Picks.
but here's the thing: is anybody willing to make that trade?
Right, but what I'm saying is they had a contract dispute and he wasn't happy there and stuff like that. And the Saints might look to trade. But that's what you got. I'm not saying now they're not going to do it, but when you had that opportunity, you pounce. Same thing with Christian McCaffrey. Remember, the 49ers are crazy for trading for Christian McCaffrey. Really? They're crazy for trading for Christian McCaffrey? I would trade for Christian McCaffrey today. I would just with the bad Achilles, I would trade for him. With a bad Achilles, he's still our best running back. We don't have top end talent. You have to go get top end talent. If you can't get it in free agency, you got to go when available. I'm not going to say waste our money on anybody, but if a Jamar Chase is available, I don't care. Right? Ready? I will trade a top 10 pick for Jamar Chase because I'm going to try to find the next Jamar Chase. Why am I going to try to find him when I can get the real Jamar Chase? Go get him.
So the original question had been like, who's going to be the playmaker? And Kenny, in his comment, had mentioned, he says, give Franklin a shot. To which a couple comments here. Jody saying, give Blake Watson a real shot. Keith saying, if Sutton can't be the quote unquote playmaker, how the heck is a guy like Franklin going to be that guy? And we have a little, Jody saying, Travis Hunter, Kurt.
Yes. Yes. Yep. Yep. No left tackle, no right tackle, no defensive tackle. Yes, Travis Hunter, absolutely. Travis Hunter would seriously be the best player on our offense. Maybe Miners. He would be the best player on our offense. Yes, that's what we need. I don't want to hear you can't pick a receiver at 3. I don't want to hear that anymore because that's the same people I hear saying we don't have playmakers. You got to go get them. You got to go up and get these playmakers. But for now, I'm saying when you have no, like it's different when it's like, okay, I have, you know, two stud receivers, and now I'll draft and develop another guy. But you can't draft a guy in the 3rd round and be like, okay, he's going to be your star receiver. Like that's not happening. That's not going to happen. It's not realistic. And then we keep looking, okay, try this guy, try that guy, try that. We have nothing. Nothing. This offseason, we have to go shopping. We have to go shopping. Whatever we have with cap space, or we got to go into the trade market and see some picks and
Well,
go
I
get.
mean,
We got
Keith
to
is
go
making the
shopping.
point that you don't have the money, you can't afford it, But next year, Jody's saying 77
Yeah, we
in
got
cap
cap.
next
We
year.
got cap. We got cap.
And then let me
And
get
yeah,
back.
again, Jen, you could always get cap. Again, Garrett Bowles, and listen, you could fix cap. People were saying we didn't have cap this year. We still had cap. So you could always get cap. The Kansas City Chiefs they're always, the Kansas City Chiefs are over this. The Saints are over this. And you know what? They're signing people left and right. So you can do it. Cash on hand again, $74 billion in ownership. We can do whatever we want to do if we have to do it. But you got to go get the right players.
RJ Calabro Sports NHL game schedule update checking in. Little reminder about tomorrow night's game is NFL Patriots versus Jets at 8:15.
That
And
I am excited to watch that game, Jen. I am all over the Jets.
I know.
Tomorrow, you're going to see the difference between a Jacoby Brissett and an Aaron Rodgers. Tomorrow night is where you're going to see it. That's where you're going to see you want somebody standing in there and doing this, or you want Aaron Rodgers. Tomorrow night, you want it. Trust me, you want Aaron Rodgers.
Kurt, we got a good one from Keith. He's saying, I want you to give me 3-star players from the game on Sunday, but one of them has to be an offensive player.
Who? Seriously, who? I mean, we didn't have any bobbled snaps. Can we say like our center? I mean, seriously, like I'm not even playing around. I don't know. I'm not saying nobody on the offensive line. We couldn't run the ball at all. So no, I don't want to hear Miners. I don't want to hear anybody there. Ben Powers, absolutely not. Nobody on that offensive line. Nobody in the offensive backfield, right? What receivers are we going to go to? I mean, Mims is a non-factor. Sutton was a non-factor. I mean, I'm not, when I say star, I will never put the word star in Little Jordan Humphreys, even in the same sentence, because he's not a star. He can never be a star. Dulcich drop balls left and right. Seriously, I don't know. Jen, you watched it with me. Who?
Well, the offensive only one you're talking about?
Yeah, who?
It's tough because I feel like all we kept saying, nobody could do anything.
It's crazy. I really don't know offensively.
So well, you need 3. So who's your other 2?
Defensively, listen, I still think Allen had another good game defensively. Again,
What we also talked about is, who is doing a good job is special teams.
Yes, our special teams did do a good job. You're right. Those are our stars. Our special teams have been very
Just
good.
but, like, doing the unmentionables, like, the things that aren't gonna go and, like, but, and speaking of special teams, let me get Michael's question up for you here.
Oh, yeah, Michael's saying Josh Reynolds. Maybe we gotta put Josh Reynolds. Maybe Josh Reynolds by default.
Do you have anybody else before we get to Michael's question here?
No, I
Hard to
really
pick.
don't.
Hard, yeah. Let's revisit that question after this week.
Not, and I'll
Okay,
say this, not Pat Surtain defensively, because he
but
got eaten up, eaten up.
yeah, he did. He did. Surprisingly. Yeah. Michael saying, Kurt and Jen, your thoughts on Sertan playing on special teams against the Steelers? I was not happy with the move because if he got hurt on special teams, Broncos countries will be calling out the Broncos coaching staff. So what are your thoughts on that, Kurt?
You know, um, I agree. You're paying a guy, but again, Jen, he was not good Sunday. He did not earn his money on Sunday. And you know what? The Steelers didn't hide from him. Steelers came at him. Third downs, big interference call or holding call. He was not good. But yeah, I'm not a fan of not. I mean, in a playoff game, I might do that and stuff like that, but not like week 2. No.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree that you can't risk losing him to injury there. I like Graham's comment. He was top 3 players. Well, Stidham didn't make any mistakes, so he votes for him. Wink, wink.
Oh my God.
Oh, too
You know.
funny, too funny. Let me catch up on some other things
Listen,
here.
if the Miami Dolphins called and said, "We'll give you anything for Jared Stidham," I'd ship him right to Miami.
Oh, Zoli's hopping right on what you said. No offensive stars.
None,
Brutal game on
none,
Sunday.
none. Seriously, who? Bo Nix didn't play good. None of the running backs. The running backs are seriously. The running back. Our running backs are atrocious. I'm dead serious when I say this, Jen. Next year we should have a whole new offensive, a whole new running back room. Everybody,
Yeah.
everybody. I don't know about Estimate. We'll see what he does when he comes back. But you know what? Even like McLaughlin now, like Javante shouldn't be back. We'll see with Blake Watson if he gets his chance, but Javante should definitely not be back next year. And McLaughlin, besides running a toss, I mean, can we do anything else here?
So, before I read Keith's comment, getting back to his originally asked you to pick 3 stars, and you're not really coming up with any names, right? One of our topics tonight was, let me find it. Where did it go? Oh, should the defense get props? They played well 2 weeks in a row, and Keith is saying 13 points. Right, the defense is loaded with stars last game.
But here's the thing: our offense
Let me
is
get this
so
next one in.
okay.
Steelers punted on 6 of 7 possessions in the second half. Orange crush.
But here's what I'm going to say. And I don't remember what game this was, what year it was. I think it was Simeon. Simeon was there for 2 years, right? I believe it was Simeon's first year. And I'll never forget their New England with Belichick is playing at Denver. Okay, Jen?
Mhm.
And basically New England was just like, and again, Brady and Edelman and the whole Gronk. And I think Denver lost like, it might have been seriously like 16-6, right? So it's, oh, look at the, you know what they did? Like, you know what Pittsburgh did last week? If we don't fumble, we can't lose. Just, hey, even if you go 3 and out, punt the ball, Denver's not going to move it. So once they got the lead on us, like a double-digit lead, who cares if they punt it? The only way you're going to lose that game is by turning the ball over. So, listen, I'm not going to say our defense didn't play well at all, but I'm not giving them total props because the Steelers were just so vanilla of like, as long as we don't screw this up, keep the ball out of Justin Fields'
Hey,
hands, throw it a
what's
couple
wrong with
times.
that? A win's a
No,
win.
nothing's wrong
Yeah.
with that. But what I'm saying is I'm not going to make it like the Steelers were running all their offense and our defense shut them down. They didn't. They didn't. And that was just like that game what New England did with Belichick, where it was just like Brady, hand the ball off 30 times, throw it, 12 times, and Trevor Siemian can't throw the ball 6 yards down the field. And that's exactly, it was like a 16-6 win. That's what this game reminded me of. Just don't do anything stupid offensively, Pittsburgh, and Denver's not going to do anything. You'll win the game.
Kurt, I want to get your thoughts on another one that Kenny dropped here in the comments because a lot of people in the chat were answering. So don't look, right? But the question is, who's the bigger disappointment for the bigger of these three? Javonte Williams, Cortland Sutton, or Dulcich? Who's the
Cortland
biggest?
Cortland Sutton. We're paying him like a number one, number two receiver. Like, come on, get open. Like I'm so sick of when people didn't want Russ like last year. Oh my God, Cortland Sutton's back. Well, Cortland Sutton was back because she had Russell Wilson, right, throwing him up the ball and making plays, and but nobody liked Russell Wilson. But now all of a sudden, oh, Cortland Sutton's a disappointment. But yeah, he is a disappointment. He's not. Come on. Go, you're one on one. Go make a play.
I
Make a
gotta
play.
say, most of the comments in the chat were for Dulcich.
Yeah, but he's again another guy. Drop. How many balls are you going to drop? You got to help this rookie quarterback out. Putting the ball right in your hands and you're dropping it. Come on.
All right, so now here we have Bo Nix starting the season, right? Now all these question marks. So what do you think of Keith's comment that this attests to the fact that Stidham should have taken these first 4 games, which losses, to start the season? What do you
One
think?
100% disagree. Absolutely not. You gain nothing. Absolutely nothing with Jared Stidham taking any snap. He shouldn't have taken any first team rep snap in training camp. Shouldn't. He's not a first string quarterback. He's not. It's a waste of time. It is a waste of time. This kid, Bo Nix, has to play. There's nothing, okay, sit back and watch. And, he's not watching behind Aaron Rodgers. If he was watching behind Aaron Rodgers, yeah, go watch a Hall of Fame quarterback play. If he was watching behind Russell Wilson, yeah, go watch how an NFL. Matthew Stafford, yeah. But I'm not sitting behind Jared Stidham. For what? Jared Stidham shouldn't be on this roster. Jacoby Brissett. I'm not letting him watch those guys. I'm not. Absolutely not. Play. Because you know what we need to know, Jen? I said this. I'll say it again. I said it on K&K. We need to know, do I need to go get a quarterback next year if I have a top 3 pick? Because if Shador Sanders is out there and Carson Beck's out there and Quinn Ewers is out there, and you say, hey, these 3 guys are better than Bo Nix, go draft a quarterback. You need a quarterback. So that's what we need to see. I don't want to see him. I don't want to see Jared Stidham taking any first string snap. Graham got it. Graham found it. Jen, December 18, 2016,
16,
16-3.
yeah.
Go watch that game. New England just basically was like almost taking a knee. Like, hey, we'll punt. You're not going to do anything offensively. That's exactly what this game was. So I'm not going to sit there that night and say, that in that game, Denver's defense shut New England down. New England basically shut themselves down, just said, if we don't screw up, you can't do anything. That's what it was with Pittsburgh.
We got Mungdis from YouTube checking in saying there's
What's
no
up?
chance for creativity with
Yep.
Stidham. Stidham is check down guy that dinks and dunks and doesn't have the legs to run the ball like Bo. You've said that as well.
Absolutely right. No creativity. You're going to get nothing. You're going to learn nothing. I would so rather see Zach Wilson better than and I don't really want to see Zach Wilson, but I'd see Zach Wilson over Jarrett Stidham. Jarrett Stidham is who he is, Jen. He's a backup quarterback who should never, ever, ever start a meaningful NFL game. That's what he is. So again, I'm not sitting there watching behind him. You're not going to learn anything. What do you like? He's right. What are you going to learn? Check it down. Check it down. Check it down. That's a waste of time for everybody. Everybody involved. Waste of time.
We got Mark checking in saying, "Good
Mark,
evening, Kurt. What's up?"
34 Mark, 34 nights away from tonight. The Knicks open up against the Celtics. Let's go.
Mundungus is saying, "Preach."
Yeah, but seriously, let's be realistic. Jen, I'm going to ask you, what do you get out of Jarrett Stidham taking a meaningful snap? Honestly,
No, I mean I agree. Yeah,
nothing.
yeah, no. You're going nowhere with that. That has no future.
It's like the same thing. The Carolina Panthers benched Bryce Young, the number one pick last year, for Andy Dalton. Why? What are you, Andy Dalton? For what? Seriously, what? Play Bryce Young. He sinks or he swims. If he's no good, go get a quarterback next draft. That's it.
We got Graham saying that the Jets absolutely ruined Zach Wilson. I'd be interested to see him play some regular season games, excuse me, but that won't happen.
I'd rather see Zach Wilson over Stidham. Yeah.
And Michael saying he's not a fan of Stidham
No,
either.
no. Again,
Well,
if you listen,
you know what? Let's get into Bo Nix's first 2 weeks performance, right? So Keith is saying that Nix looked overwhelmed and has bad footwork, all while having issues with an NFL play calling year one. Stidham for 4 games, and Bo could then have been the savior.
no, because again, the only way, you know, we could all say whatever we want on these podcasts, right? I could say it, Keith could say it, Kenny could say it, but listen to the NFL people, and when they go and say, hey, they have to play and fail to basically do. You're not going to, okay, go get a first team rep in practice. That means nothing. That's not game day. There's no pressure in practice. You're not in front of 80,000 people. Like, you have to be on the field and to do it. I just think it's outrageous. Okay, we're going to sit behind a backup. Again, if you draft Jordan Love and you have Aaron Rodgers, yes, you sit and you learn from Aaron Rodgers. But you're learning nothing from Jared Stidham. Nothing.
A couple things here. Jody saying that Nick's footwork not getting better if he's sitting, right?
Right.
And then
Exactly.
Mungdunga saying, I think when you look at the Broncos from the outside, Payton is trying to limit the risk to Bo Nix. He doesn't want to put him in a situation that could ruin any future growth or injury.
That's a good point, because again, you know, but you have to see, this is what shocks me about Sean Payton, Jen, and I'll say it again. I never really thought it would be like he'd fix the culture and be such a bad play caller, because I always considered him, probably him, Josh McDaniels, and Andy. Well, I'm sorry, Kyle Shanahan, Andy Reid, Josh McDaniels, and Payton in the past 10 years, the best offensive play callers in football, right? And I would have never thought, like, hey, he's going to fix the culture and how bad, and it was bad. Nathaniel Hackett, bad, before he became a legit play caller. And that's what's shocking. Like, help this kid out, give me little swings, give me little slot screens, give me something that's, give me shots over the top, like, and please run the damn effing ball. And I don't mean we have to be in a double tight end set and run it all the time. You could run it. The beauty of running it, watch a Kyle Shanahan, watch a Mike Shanahan offense. I'll give you, and this is why I loved him, Jen. Listen, I'll come out in my first 20 plays and I'll give you 19 different formations and 16 different runs. And you know what? They're all going to look different. You know what? Be creative like that. The run game is still the run game. It's window dressing. But window dressing, like, I forgot who we were watching. We were watching we're watching him. He said, watch these two linebackers. It was the Houston game. Who were they playing? Who'd they play Sunday night?
Oh, I don't remember.
Texans and, oh my God, I can't think. Oh, was it? No, who was it? Oh, the Bears. It was the Bears. They showed the one little motion Houston put. Boop, both linebackers go, bang, you hit them with words. That's the creative stuff we have to do. And you know what? Sean Payton was that in New Orleans. And you know what? That's that part. Listen, he's absolutely failed as a play caller right now as the Denver Bronco play
Let me
caller.
get a couple comments in here. Kurt Zoli saying Bo's been rough, but he kind of expected that.
Yep.
The Tampa Bay defense all banged up, so hoping they can show more this Sunday. Need a running game to take some of the pressure off of them.
Yeah, Jen, Caleb
Well,
Williams,
let
Jalen
me
Daniels. Oh, I'm sorry.
let me just get some of these comments before
Okay.
you Mungdung is saying he thinks the offense grows and progresses as the season goes along and Nick gets more comfortable and Payton gets more comfortable with the rookie. That's a great point. We're 2 games in, like that is there's like panic I feel like setting in. But you know what? Like, I feel like that's a great point. Like you kind of between Zoli and Mundungus here, like you kind of expected that. You
Of
have to
course.
expect
Yeah,
this.
listen,
And
they showed John Elway's first thing 2 weeks ago was atrocious. Peyton Manning was atrocious his rookie year early on. Again, most interceptions, in a season, right? This year, again, on Sunday night, we heard the stat. Caleb Williams, Jalen Daniels, Bo Nix. 6 games, 3 first-round quarterbacks. None of them threw a quarterback. None of them has thrown a touchdown pass. That's going to happen. You have to expect that. That's what it's going to be, right? We have to see progress. Of course, we have to see progress. But that's what it's, like you're in the NFL for a different reason. You're not playing in gimmick college football anymore. And a lot of teams, they're playing in this gimmick college football, right? Holding up the signs, right? Here we go. Here's this picture and this, and defenses can't do that. It doesn't, you're playing against good defensive coordinators. That's why they're NFL defensive coordinators. It can't be, okay, we're going to run. This is where all these quarterbacks, I want a running quarterback. I want a running quarterback. You ain't running in the NFL like that. Like, you're not going to do that. This isn't high school and college. You don't win with the run first quarterback. You never have, and you never will. You need a pocket first quarterback who's mobile. You're not going to win by, okay, my quarterback's going to run all over you. Definitely not postseason. It will not happen.
we got Trevor checking in saying, "Hey, Jen and Kurt,
What's up,
great
Trevor?
to see you all. All right, answer this question. Just give me your number. That's all I want from you. You ready? How
Yep.
concerned are you about the rest
Of
rest of the Sean Payton era in Denver? Scale of 1 to 10. Give me a number."
7.
Ooh, all right. Because this
You?
is I'm gonna go 5.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 5. Um, this is an interesting point from Keith, right? Because we're talking about how, okay, we expect this to happen with Bo, but this is a great point. If you're saying they need to play and fail, like this era isn't like that anymore. Like he's right. If you fail, you might not have a career anymore. And he's using Bryce Young as the example. I mean, he is right about that.
So, but what's the difference, right? Because you know what it comes down to? Bryce Young just might not be good enough. Daniel Jones, he's just not good enough. That's what it comes down to. That you see, like that's the thing. Like, well, if Daniel Jones sat what? Daniel Jones just isn't good. Bryce Young just isn't good. That's what it comes down to. It does. I said this for years. You either have it or you don't. You're not going to, okay, I'm going to sit 6 years and I'm going to be average and then become a star. It doesn't work like that with football. It's a gamble. It's a lottery ticket. You know what? Listen, we've said this on the shows how many times? Okay. Kansas City won the lottery ticket. But you know what? Kansas City got lucky because their lottery ticket was Paxton Lynch. Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs wanted Paxton Lynch. Okay? That's who they were putting all their marbles in, was Paxton Lynch. Then Paxton Lynch, the Cowboys wanted him, and John Elway took him. And then you know what happened? The Kansas City's that draft got Chris Jones. The next year, well, they couldn't get Paxton Lynch because Paxton Lynch was already drafted. So now let's gamble on somebody else. And they gambled on Patrick Mahomes. But that wasn't their first choice. Their first choice was they were going all in on Paxton Lynch. And you know what? That gamble would have failed. They got lucky with the Mahomes thing. That's how it works. You're going to hit the lotto or you're not going to hit the lotto. You're not going to get Paxton Lynch is Paxton Lynch. I don't want to hear Paxton Lynch with the 49ers, Paxton Lynch with this thing. Paxton Lynch was going to be Paxton Lynch. That's just who he is. That's why he's not in the league. There's nobody that's not in the league right now that, oh my God, this guy should be in the NFL quarterbacking. It doesn't work like that. If you're in the league, if you should be in the league as a quarterback, you would be in the league as a quarterback.
Kurt, I got Kenny put a comment in here where it was actually a question I had for you. So I want to try to import an image really quickly here. I don't want to mess up the screen. So I'm going to try to get it in
Of
here and
course.
see if it works. Okay. Oh, there it is. You remember, you know this meme?
Yep.
Have you seen this one, right?
Yes, I
So
have.
this is the guy in the shirt here is Kurt. He's holding hands with, I'm going to say, Bo Nix or Sean Payton, right? But you know, because you're in bed with him, right? And you're in love with Bo, but I'm sensing a little change. And my question, Kenny stole right out of my mouth here, right? Is Sean Payton relegated to the couch? And are you falling out of love with Bo Nix because you know who you were in love with after 3 snaps this weekend?
Jen,
Arch
if that girl in red is Arch Manning,
it is
hell
Arch
yeah.
Manning. That is Arch
Hell
Manning.
yeah.
That's
Hell
Kurt
yeah.
holding it. Look at
Listen,
poor little Bo Nix's face already. Yeah.
listen, there's a couple people in this chat tonight, no names mentioning, but One's working and watching a bunch of people on a TV. One's sitting home, Mr. Rosen. There's a couple other in the chat. When a year ago or 2 years ago, I said, I'll take Arch Manning over anybody. Oh, no way. He never took a snap. Listen to me. Arch Manning will be the next best the best NFL quarterback since Peyton Manning. Done deal. Done deal. You just know it.
I'm waiting for someone in the
And
chat
I'm
to
telling
say,
you right
wait,
now,
wait.
Jen,
I'm waiting for someone in the chat to mention how you said that about Trevor Lawrence.
yeah, I did. I did. I did. I still believe that. But Jen, Arch Manning, and you know what's crazy? I don't know if I told you. Vegas odds came out today.
You did. You did. The Giants and the Broncos.
What team would take him in the 2026 draft? The favorite at 4-1, the Giants. The second team, the Broncos at 5-1.
Yep.
Listen to me. I'm doing it tomorrow. I don't care. Why? Because Bo Nix will never be Arch Manning. Caleb Williams will never be Arch Manning. Jalen Daniels will never be Arch Manning. Dak Prescott will never be Arch Manning. Tua's never going to be Arch Manning. Lamar Jackson's never going to be Arch Manning. Bryce Purdy's never going to, what's his name? Brock Purdy's never going to be, they're not. They're not. They're not. That's how good this kid's going to be. So you know what? Yeah, if I ever could get him, I'm getting him. That is the guy I would take to if I have to roll with somebody for the next 10 years, I'm taking Arch Manning. He's got everything. Everything.
So let's kind of get we
And there's
kind of
Kenny saying I'm giving up on Bo. I'm not giving up on Bo
yeah,
Nix.
I don't think you're giving
I'm
up
not
on
giving
Bo
up on Bo
Nix.
Nix.
But I think, I think I think you're checking out other options.
Well,
I
no,
don't
no,
think
no,
you've
no, no,
given
no,
up
no,
yet.
no, no,
You know
no,
why
no,
though?
no, no,
You know
nope.
why?
I'm not
You
checking out other options.
you can't
You're
wait.
giving me one option.
You can't. Well, no, you've also mentioned Deion Sanders' son.
I never said that. I
Yes,
never
you
said
did.
that. Yeah,
And I think you said it on K and K tonight.
well, no, no, no. What I said was this. You're not listening to what I said. Right now, I would take Bo Nix over Shador Sanders. I'm saying if I'm the Broncos and I played Bo Nix for 17 games and he's not good, and I say, okay, in my opinion, who's the better prospect, Shador Sanders or Bo Nix? Then yeah, I would do that. But I'm not saying that right now. But I could tell you right now, I would tell if this draft was tomorrow and I had the number one pick, I'm trading Bo Nix and taking Arch Manning. Hands down.
Roy wants to know, what are you basing this on? Based on what? He thinks you're jumping ahead of the
No
horse.
way. No way. What you saw the other day, what you saw in high school, the pedigree, the smarts, the athleticism in this is a Manning that's an athlete, like the grandfather, like Archie, with I mean, no way. You talk about a kid be ready to play. You saw this kid come back, in a backup, backup or whatever. He was throwing. I mean, I'm not saying the ball's wide open to some of these guys, but that corner out, I mean, like he's looking up and he's like, boop, dropping it in. I mean, and you're talking about people already saying, hey, they want to win a title. You got to play Arch Manning this year. Listen, he's probably, honestly, he's probably the best quarterback in college football right now. He is the best college quarterback in
This
college
is this
football.
is un-Broncos related, but like I find it so interesting in this era of transfers that not only did he choose to go there and know he wasn't going to start right away, but that he's chosen to stay.
Yeah.
And why, if he is the better one, why isn't he starting?
Because you know why he's smart, Jen? Because of the system. Like he's with Steve Sarkisian, right? And
Mhm.
Sarkisian, again, was at Alabama, was in the NFL, and he runs a pro offense. They don't run a gimmick offense. They don't. He runs a pro offense. So he knows, and the Manning family,
I was
what's
just
going to
gonna
get this
say
guy getting
that's where
ready
his
for,
that's where his
am I
family
going to
comes
go
in.
play for? And again, I'm a Lane Kiffin fan in college, but Lane Kiffin quarterbacks are never going to make it in the NFL, right? You saw they drafted a couple. They drafted the one 2 years ago. The guy, I don't even know what league he's in. He's probably coaching high school somewhere, right? Like the gimmicks don't work. The gimmick offenses don't work. You have to be in a structured offense. Like that's why I'm high on JJ McCarthy. By the way, everybody with the Chargers, right? You can't win throwing the you can't win in this league throwing for 160 yards 2 weeks in a row. Justin Herbert. What's the matter? He's no good anymore. He don't throw for 500 yards. Nope, because he used to throw for 500 yards, and they were 0-2. This year, Jen, under 200, 2-0. I heard Paul Rosen the other day said, we don't know if he's going to play. His foot's hurt. Jen, he don't have to have a foot to do this. Right? Hand it off. Hand it off. That's how you win in this league. I told you, Jim Harbaugh, that's going to be I'm not even worried about Kansas City. That's going to be our issue going forward. Because that guy's the best coach in the NFL. Wherever he goes, because he don't care who you are. He's going to do it the right way. We're going to run and play defense. And you know what? Surprised so far the Chargers are 2-0.
Roy is accusing you of jumping ship with the talk about Arch Manning
No,
there.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not.
I know.
I'm a huge bone. I'm bone.
Yeah.
I'm just listen to me.
I just want to
When
get
there's a
that in. I just want to get that
generational
in.
player, right? When there's a here's my prime example. The Knicks, Bridges, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby. Okay, I don't cover your ears, Jen. At Duke this year, you're gonna have a kid called Cooper Flag, right? I think his name's
Mm-hmm.
Cooper Flag.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, just goodbye. Goodbye, OG. Put him right. It's just that's a generational player. When you could get a
I'm
generational
sorry. I
player,
don't know. I don't
generational.
know.
He's
I don't know.
generational.
I'm not
Jen, I
willing.
watched him. Jen, he played in the select game against the USA Olympic team, and he put up like 28.
I know. I'm
Yes,
not. I got
yes,
it. I got it. I'm not
yes,
willing to. I'm not willing to say he's going to be an NBA generational player without seeing him play a year. I'm not willing to make that. I'm not willing to say that yet.
yep,
Sorry. Not willing to say it based on one not happening.
yep.
Not just because he's wearing a Duke jersey, but whatchamacallit, I wanted to get Trevor's comment up here. He's saying Bo Nix is the Broncos quarterback next 3 years at least. The only exception would be if Nix clearly isn't the guy. If Bo isn't the guy, and if I'm ownership, I'm not letting Payton pick another quarterback. Now,
No.
the reason I threw that
Wait,
up
Jen,
there.
I'm not letting that Peyton pick another quarterback, but I'm gonna let another Peyton pick that
Okay,
quarterback.
all right, but here's the thing. Kenny then says, "Well, let's say Arch Manning does become a Bronco. Who's the head coach?"
I could
Is
care. I don't care.
you
I don't care. Seriously, I don't
can't
care. I
say
mean,
that. You could
no, no,
have
no.
Vance Joseph,
Listen,
Nathaniel Hackett.
I'm going to tell you this one more time. And I told Kenny this in a conversation the other day, not on a show. Okay. If Sean Payton doesn't work out, okay, if Sean Payton doesn't work out, the Denver Broncos have to do one thing. One thing. You hire Mike Shanahan for 2 years as your head coach. And then he grooms whether it's Clint Kubiak, and it's the Shanahan 100% the Shanahan system, not by the first year coach. You bring in Mike Shanahan because again, he's too old. Well, he's too old. Everybody in NFL that's good is running his offense, right? Everybody. They run the Shanahan offense. So if Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan and the Houston guy, Slowick, whatever his name is, that's the Shanahan offense. All the teams run it. You bring him in. Again, this is if Sean Payton doesn't work. You bring him in and you find the guy underneath him. Listen, you're not going to go for head coach. You're going to be groomed as an offensive coach. You're going to be groomed under him, and you will be the next Bronco coach. And in 2 years, then you transition. That's what they have to do. That's it. The true Shanahan, okay? Unless you get Kyle Shanahan, which that's not going to happen. That's what you do. But in my ideal world, that's what it would be. But I'm going to be honest. Anyway, you can, and you know what? Peyton Manning. I want Peyton Manning as the GM. Who do you want to go get as your next head coach?
I can't believe we've been on for 50 minutes already here. The time has flown by. So what I'd like to do is I want to shift gears a little bit because I want to make sure we get this in. Let's do a little preview of the Tampa game coming up.
Okay.
So,
Jen, we're talking about this, right? Because here's the thing. You cannot, and again, I was a fan of the Sean Payton hire. I'm still a fan of the Sean Payton hire. I'm still in bed with Sean Payton. But I told you this last year, and people argued with me. I told you last year, he cannot do what he wanted to do, which is get rid of Russell Wilson and leave that amount of money that you're going to pay for and come back and win 4 games. Because that is not, you won 8 with them, or whatever. They were 7 because Stidham won the last one. You were 7-8 with him. And you sold to me and to everybody. The reason we only won 7 was because he's the quarterback. If I get my quarterback, I will win more. And if he can't do that, Jen, this kind of talk this is real. It's real. Where if he does draft his quarterback and his quarterback fails, he shouldn't get another say on who the next quarterback is. How could he?
Yeah, let me get a couple comments in here. Your whole scenario with Arch Manning and bringing in Mike Shanahan, Roy saying, "Yeah, I just don't see that happening." Right?
I'm just.
I know. I'm just getting the comments in, right? And Trevor saying that you have to give Peyton some time, though, right? Like when the Broncos had to give up to get him, right? Now you have to give him at least 3 years. He did sign a 5-year deal, so I know that you like to wipe everybody out after a loss. You want to replace the entire coaching staff.
See, that's totally false.
But can I finish, please?
Sure.
you like to like wipe everybody out. We're firing everybody, but you almost have to, like last year, like gets thrown out the window because of the direction we went in here, and you do have to give this duo, this Knicks Peyton duo, more than 2 games,
Of course,
more than a season.
See, listen. And Kenny and the Giants. Well, we have to sit there and give Dable another year. The Giants are a mess. But you know what's going to happen to the Giants? I say this on the show to Kenny. Put those frowns and get them upside down, because Bill Belichick's your coach next year. And when you get Bill Belichick, that thing's going to turn around. Boop. You're not going to worry about Daniel Jones will be gone and Joe Shane will be gone and Dable's going to be gone. But when you just keep these, let's do it again. And you don't have to do anything. Do you have to stay in a marriage for 3 years? We're back into the love talk. But do you have to? Do you have to date somebody? Well, I only dated them for 2. Let's see how it is for 8.
Kurt, let's
you
move
don't
on.
wait. You don't do that.
No, we got
Do
people.
you? But wait, I'm asking you, do you? No.
We got
So
people
why would I
talking in
do it for coaching?
we switched to we were going to do the Tampa Bay game and people are giving their prediction. So Roy's predicting 28-14 Bucks. We've got another prediction here. Michael's predicting Bucks 42, Broncos 24, because the Broncos will not have a running game. I don't know. I struggled. I see them struggling to score 24. Let's see, but yeah. So let's break it down a little bit. What is your keys to the game for the Broncos?
Run the ball, Jen. We say this every week. Run the ball and stick running with the ball. If you get 2 yards, run it again. You get 2 yards, run it again. 2 more yards, run it again. Stop with this throwing the ball all over the place. You don't win like that in the NFL. Run the damn ball. That's number one. Number two, I talk about this on the show with St. Mary's High School. Can anybody make a play? Cortland Sutton, you're making $15 million. Can you make a play? I see teams when Cincinnati plays, Burrow just goes, throw it up. Go ahead. Go get it, Chase. Go ahead, CeeDee Lamb. Go get it. You want to be like those. You want more money. Make a play. Get open. I think we can't even throw him the ball. He's never open. I mean, he's not double teamed. Make a play. So can any of our so-called stars make a play? And number three, offensively, get Bo Nix early on. I want to see him rolling out. I want to see a little run pass option, not the whole game, but when you get to the red zone, 3rd and 3, give him the ability to do that. Okay. They're going to blitz him. You know what they're going to do. Make it easy for him. Give him a couple completions. Hey, quick screen to Sutton. Kenny said Franklin involved. Give Franklin something. Give Mims something. And then take a couple shots too. When everything's just, okay, I'm going to play within 15 yards, the defense easy. But, we drafted up in the 2nd round to get Mims. Use him.
Kenny's predicting 17-10, Bucks win. Trevor's well, I'll get to that one. He's saying he doesn't think Bill Belichick at the Giants with either
100%. You know
Daniel
why,
Jones
Jen?
or no quarterback would be
No,
a good.
listen to me. Daniel Jones is gone, but he will be the head coach. He will listen. They got it. The Giants do have a good defense, right? Keep building that defense, and then you hire your offensive coordinator. So say it is Josh McDaniels. Josh, you want Shador Sanders, you want Carson Beck, you want Quinn Ewers. Who do you want? And you draft your quarterback. They're not going to play with Daniel. Listen, do you think Bill Belichick's going to play with Daniel Jones? Daniel Jones will be holding clipboards next year if he's holding clipboards.
All right, so your offensive keys for the Broncos are keep it simple for Bo, set him up for success, run the damn ball, and I just forgot what your middle one there had been. Make the big plays, right?
Big play.
What about defensively?
Defensively, it's got to be stop the run. Tampa Bay, listen, Tampa Bay is a good team. Tampa Bay is a physical team. You saw they went into Detroit, they won. You got to make them, I don't know if we can make them one-dimensional, but try to make them as one-dimensional as you can. And that means you can't like just let, hey, if Baker's going to beat you and Baker's got to throw it 35 times to beat you, tip your cap to him and say congratulations. But that's a chance you have to take. You have to completely shut down their run game, and you have to say, okay, Baker, now go beat me. All right. Second thing, and I said it with the Geno Smith thing. Same thing with Justin Fields. You got to stop him with the legs. You get him in a 3rd and 6. You can't have him scramble for a 1st down. That can't happen. Make him complete passes. Third, let's get some big timely sacks too, right? Like let's get some 3rd down sacks. Like I'm sick of hearing Benito had pressure. This guy had pressure. Cooper had, finish it. Finish the job, right? Like when it's 3rd and 7, I just don't want a pressure from Benito. I want a big sack from Benito. Let's get a turnover. So I'm going to say big sacks, stop the run game first, make them one-dimensional throwing, and then stop Baker Mayfield, especially on 3rd down scrambling ability.
All right. And what's your score prediction and winner?
I'm going to say this, Jen. The Broncos have no shot next week against the Jets. They don't. So this is the game I think they're going to have to win, right? The Jets at home next week, Aaron Rodgers, it's just, It's Aaron Rodgers. Again, you'll see the mismatch tomorrow night. Jacoby Brissett and Aaron Rodgers. So I don't think they're winning next week. So I think Denver has to win this week. I think their offense gets going a little bit. I'm going to go 23-20 Broncos.
Oh, all right. All right. I like the optimism. I can't believe our hour is just
It
about up.
flew. It
Flew
flew.
by, flew by. I want to thank, before we get Kurt's final thoughts here, I just want to thank everybody for commenting. They were flying in. I love the side conversations people
Love
have
it.
replying to each other. It's great. So thank you not only for watching, but for being so interactive as well. Kurt, your closing thoughts.
My closing thoughts are, again, I said this a while. It's not about wins and losses, but it's about how it looks, right? And really how it looks offensively. Well, two things. How it looks offensively with Bo Nix going forward, and defensively, how it looks where is Vance Joseph going to survive, and or is Jim Leonard going to be the defensive coordinator this year or in the offseason? Because I don't think he's going to be the defensive coordinator when we're ready to start winning Super Bowls, and that's fine. But I am going to go and say, um, you know, you got to be better. You got to be better. And Sean Payton's got to be better. Okay, Jen? 18 million. This is where Kenny is not wrong. And Kenny's getting on Sean Payton. Jen, and before we go, I want you to agree or disagree with this one, okay? You're paying this guy $18 million to be one of, if not the best play caller in football. That has not happened. It hasn't happened in 2 years now, 19 games. In the first 2 games, our defense kept us in enough to win the game, but our offense was atrocious. And you know what, Jen? That falls on Sean Payton. When you're agree or disagree, you're making $18 million.
I do agree, but I think he's going to make the adjustments. I do.
Okay. Hey, you know what? And then that's great. If he does, you earn your money and away we go.
Yeah.
So that's what we're
Yeah.
banking on. But I will say this, if he doesn't, that's on him because
Yeah.
I'm not paying him $6 million to coach. I'm paying him
100%.
$18
Like
million.
he might have had, an idea of how he wanted to go, but you know what? It's not working. So the caliber coach that he is, he now needs to adjust. And I am confident he will make adjustments. And then you can get into the, even if they're still not winning, at least you're seeing what
Right.
you're expecting to see.
Right. Again, listen, no one ever said this team's going to win a Super Bowl this year, and that's fine. But you have to see it. You have to be, again, the most important thing this year is, you know what? Hey, I don't care who's coming out in the draft. We got our guy. And you know what? It's on Bo Nix, but that's also on Sean Payton. Because that head coach quarterback combo, right, Jen? We talk about it all the time. That's what's going to get you there. So but
Uh,
I'm still confident. I'm confident.
real quick, Kenny had wanted to know my prediction. I'm predicting Tampa Bay 24-13. So I think there's gonna be one touchdown for the Broncos.
Okay. One more than last week.
I know. So baby steps, baby steps.
But you
But
know what, Jen? Listen, hey, you know what? 1:00 comes Sunday. Let's go. Let's go. You know what? Hey, we're not playing you're not playing world beaters here. We're not. Let's be honest. You're not playing a world beater. You know, are they a good team? Yeah, they're pretty good. But I mean, listen, like they're not a Super Bowl contender.
but you know what? They're just playing better than the Broncos too. That's the
Of
thing. Right
course,
now,
of course.
all they have to be on Sunday is better than the Broncos.
That's
And
it.
right now, that's not a big tall order, unfortunately, for any opponent. So,
That's
but
it.
I want to thank once again everybody for watching and commenting. Kirk,
Yeah.
great job, great
Thank
show.
you, Jen. You do obviously you always do a great job backstage. Appreciate it. And everybody in the chat, listen, that's why I love doing it, man. We get heated, we get argued. It's the first time we got a little heated this year, right? Everyone's been lovey-dovey and all that stuff, right, Jen? And we're back to reality. So, but you know what? Guess what, Jen? We're all going back in bed with Sean tonight. In bed with Sean and in love with Bo.